Hey everybody, I am Rasheed Wyatt, candidate for mayor, and this is another episode of, I guess, Talking with Wyatt. And I'm really excited about this conversation. I have three young people who are an example of when we talk about Black excellence. Each of them are attending an HBCU, and my little cousin here, Tori, wanted to have this conversation. And actually, I've had a little bit of a conversation early on, and I'm so impressed with them. And as I talk about this, my goal to become mayor, this is really the reason why I want to be mayor. I want to create an environment where our young people want to come back and be in their home city. And it's an atmosphere that is conducive to what they want to do. I mean, we don't want young people to come here and just be sitting like it's like you're painting a room, seeing paint dry. We don't want that. We want to create excitement. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and just talk a little bit about who they are. And we're going to go around the room. Then we're going to jump into this conversation because we don't have a lot of time, but I want you to hear from them. So we're going to start. I better start with ladies first. I got to be right. So you just read that a little bit to you. Okay.
I'm Tori Middlebrooks. I go to Morgan State and I'm a business major.
Right. Well, what school did you graduate from?
Oh, I graduated from Cleveland Hill High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm London Mitchell. I go to Howard University and I'm a nursing major. And I graduated from Williamsville East High School.
Wow. Okay. All right.
How y'all doing? My name is Tremaine Fuquay. I'm a third-year accounting major at Hampton University, and I graduated from Frederick Law Olmsted.
Now, now this is a young man, and I'm going to lean to him because when he talk about that finance piece, that's my area, and we had real good conversation. But Tori is going to an institution that I wish I would have got my master's from, Morgan. Love Morgan. Morgan actually has a program that is sponsored by Black Enterprise Magazine. They put a lot of money into their program. So, that to see the ticker tape in your finance area department and all that.
Yeah, it's a lot in our business major. It's a lot. They have like a big business building, and each floor really goes into like the different parts of business. Like there's a finance floor, accounting floor, the business management floor, the administration floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I like their business.
It's
Their
okay.
business program is very strong in all aspects, and numbers, and just trying to get people into the administration part is very, very strong.
Yeah. And so since we're on the business part, Tremaine, talk about your program over at Hampton. What you're doing.
Definitely. So at Hampton, I'm an accounting major, but we also have a illustrious 5-year MBA program where students can get their master degree in business, I believe, in 5 years. It's a great program. Many of my friends take it. It's heavily accounting based, so that's one thing I would say about it. Also, overall, we're a great business school. We have a lot of career fairs. I think we do around 2 to 3 per year. Lots of different companies come out there. I know for me, Big Four is out there a lot, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, a lot of those companies. So just getting opportunities in those spaces and being able to talk to those recruiters about what they need and what they're looking for is definitely insightful and something that Hampton does very, very well, I could say.
Now, I went to school for my accounting degree when we had ledgers that we had to write. Y'all don't do that anymore, right? Y'all don't have ledgers. Y'all don't write it
We
down.
use it on the computer.
Oh, okay.
I do it on the computer.
Don't laugh at me, Leslie. But honestly, there's still something very important and impactful about that, learning it that way, because when our systems go down, what do? So you have to understand how it flows. Have to know your cash flow, your balance sheet, all that type of stuff. You need to know that, how to write it down if you don't have that. So London, now we know that in our community, nursing is a big thing. I always see nurses from all over. Talk about your program and why you wanted to pursue nursing.
Well, I want to be a nurse because my mom is a nurse, and she's just always been my biggest inspiration. And I've seen firsthand how Black people, especially Black women, are treated in these hospitals. So I just want to be in there and be able to make a change and speak for our people. I would say Howard University has some of the best doctors and medical professionals, Black medical professionals out there. So our program is very good. Also, we get a lot of hands-on experience. We actually have a hospital of our own, so that's how we're able to get our experience and like talk to different patients in DC. And it's just been a very good program so far. I'm not in nursing school yet. I find out if I made it into the actual nursing program in a few days, but my prereqs and things like that and just all my professors that I've been talking to, it's been a very great experience so far.
Well, you on your way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to this conversation. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm telling you, I'm really excited to hear from 3 young people who lived in this area, and you've gone out and you've seen something different. Talk about that difference, going to Baltimore, going to Hampton, or, Howard. Talk about the difference between the city that your school is in and what you see here in Buffalo.
Well, for me personally, I'd say the biggest difference in the actual city of Baltimore is honestly how not diverse it is, I guess. It's a lot of just Black people. And it's a lot different in seeing how they work versus how we work. I feel like personally, sometimes we don't always use our resources when it comes to Buffalo and in terms of working together. But out there, it's really just a bunch of Black people working together. Okay. And you can't it's really unified. Okay. I would say that it's a lot more, it feels a lot more unified at times. But I will say the city of Buffalo, I don't think nobody compares to it in the way that if somebody does need help or does run into a problem, they know that they'll find help out here. Okay. I feel like it's almost a guarantee to find somebody who can help you out here. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
London?
I actually have an opposite outlook on it. I would say DC is very, I would say Buffalo is very segregated to me. I feel like Black people live in one area, white people live in one area, Hispanics live in one area. Whereas I do go to a HBCU, so I am surrounded by Black people most of the time. But when I go out into the city and stuff like that, it's all different types of cultures and races in one place. And I feel like that's very different from Buffalo. And it's very cool. I do love being surrounded by Black people a lot more because I grew up with a lot of white people. So it's different working with my people. It's just very inspiring because I feel like I've just grown up to see white people, and I feel like they look down on me a lot. So now that I'm in a space with Black people that are inspiring and even pushing me to do better, it's just, I love it. And the reason that I wanted to go to Howard and just get out of Buffalo in general is because I felt stagnant here. I didn't feel like I was getting the motivation or the push or drive that I needed to become the best version of myself. So, and I remember all throughout high school, I was like, when I leave Buffalo, I'll be okay. I just got to get out of here. I just got to get out of here. And now that I'm gone, I love Buffalo. I think it's a beautiful city, but I think there's so many more opportunities and people chasing things that I've never seen before. Okay. So I really enjoy being in DC.
All right.
A lot of things I've never seen before. A lot of majors I didn't even know were a thing. A lot of people going to school for. This one girl's going to school for political science. Well, it's not even just. She was doing something specific with her political science major that I hadn't heard of. Or even this another girl, she's from Buffalo, but she's going to school for social work in Morgan. And I just think it's just so impactful because knowing that she's going to be another Black girl helping another Black girl who needs it in social work is what is needed. Honestly, I don't even know how else to put it. It's just good to see that people are trying to do what's needed.
Excellent. Tremendous.
Piggybacking off what both Tori and Linda said, going off of the diversity, definitely out in Hampton, it's more diverse. It's more cultures. I'm Muslim, or I practice Islam. So going to the masjid out there and just seeing the culture that they have out there is definitely a different vibe than when you're in Buffalo and things like that. But overall, I feel like it's just due to the city being redlined. Things like redlining going on and cutting off everybody from different groups and different minorities and different wealth classes, things like that. So just overall diversity is the really biggest thing.
So tell me, we got this mayoral election coming up, and you all know I'm running. Tell your family to vote for me. What would you say as a young person? What would the one thing that you would say to the mayor? We need to see more of this for me to think about coming back to Buffalo and having a career here. You know, what was it that you like?
Personally, we were talking about it earlier, and some of the things are. It's not even that it's not there. I just don't think it's enough exposure to certain programs. Mm-hmm. Like, I know a lot of people who think that they have to go to school to get into real estate. It's not true. Mm-hmm. They just don't understand that the resources are here for them. So I feel like exposure to resources is definitely one of the biggest things. Or even making sure kids know that UB is a really good school and it's worth going to, even if you can't go somewhere else.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I would just say the inclusivity part. I feel like since it's so segregated, you only see your people, or you only see like what people are doing in your communities, and sometimes it's discouraging when you see maybe white people having these types of houses or these cars and doing more, and then you feel like you don't know how to get there and things like that. So I feel like it's just not motivating for certain groups of people. Okay, that's what I would say.
I feel like one of the biggest thing is young people realizing or looking into job security in the future. That's one of the biggest topics that most young people are focused on nowadays, is job security. So the fact that Buffalo doesn't have too many opportunities for things like internships or small jobs or things for people starting up fresh out of college, trying to look for a job, look for a career, they don't have many opportunities for those type of students. So that forces those students to go out of state, to travel, and to look at better opportunities for those type of internships. So that's just the biggest thing to me, trying to connect the youth that's graduating, going into the workforce with the actual workforce, small businesses, big businesses, really whatever, just inside the city.
And I think one of the things that I'm looking to put forth, because I want to see our city flooded with young people. I really do. Especially young people like what you have. You guys have this potential that I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, if I just got them in the room with other young people, where we could go, because you really are the catalyst to us really making our community more inclusive. I like that. More inclusive. And I'm not saying let's exclude white people. I'm saying let's at least have us together.
Yeah.
Because without having us together, we can't help nobody else. You know, if I'm not together, I can't help you. I'm messed up. But if we can get us together and we can get you young people to kind of come up with a game plan of how we approach some of the systemic issues. You know, right now our school system is not all that we would want it to be. And a lot of it is not just some teachers. You know, and I got to be honest, some of it is on parents.
I was going to say it starts with the parents.
Yeah, you say that. Talk about it, because you all are doing something that you would not have done had it not been for someone supporting you.
Can I talk about it then?
Go right ahead.
Because I was about to say, because you can't send your kids to school and not teach them manners or basic things, because that's why they come home and go to school and act crazy. And then your teachers yell at them. But the teachers are just trying to make them understand that you can't do that outside in the real world. Just because you could do it at home or your parents let you do it don't mean it's okay. Mm-hmm. And just because your parents let you do it don't mean that it's right. And if somebody else is telling you it's not right, it's probably because it's not, because they don't want you to end up in trouble. Mm-hmm. Amen.
All right. Amen. Go ahead.
I would say the big reason why I'm so motivated now and have so many dreams and things like that and wanted to get out of Buffalo and see different parts of the world is because of my parents. I feel like my parents pushed me. Sometimes too much, my mom. But I feel like they pushed me, and I feel like I've had friends that their parents didn't really care what they did, and they didn't care about their grades. They were able to do whatever they want. And I used to be like, dang, like, why won't my mom let me go here? Why can't I do this? But it was for a bigger picture, and now I'm so appreciative and so grateful for my mom and my dad to have pushed me to this point because, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely would say it starts at home with your parents, of course. My mom, I feel like she did a fantastic job installing those lessons in me and just teaching me things throughout life that helped me get me to where I am today. Also give it to my sister. You know, it's also a village. Mm-hmm. So definitely it starts with the whole family. She was the reason I really wanted to go to college. My sister, she graduated from Clark Atlanta University back in 2019. So she was a big reason that I wanted to go to HBCU and that I even started looking at college in general. You know, I went out there and seeing how she was living, and it was beautiful. I liked it. But you know, it definitely starts with the family. It starts with the village. And if everybody got all hands on deck, it's no way you could fail.
Wow.
I would also like to just say, I forgot.
You forgot.
That's right. I was about to say it, but it was really just mainly, I feel like if the kids don't love home as a kid, and I mean home as in Buffalo, all around, up until like, I'd say I made up my mind in probably 8th grade I was leaving. So I feel like it's also about your surroundings and about who you're surrounding yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of friends who have no goals and have no future for themselves, then maybe you should get out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you can handle getting out of Buffalo, then you should look at the biggest part of Buffalo for you. If you know the biggest thing for you is money, then you should look at some books about money.
Yeah.
If you think the biggest thing about Buffalo for you is the food, then you better go look at a book about food. Mm-hmm. It's something in every book. Whether you look at it or not, it's something good in there.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you three. You really have inspired me, honestly, that our young people are doing great things. You know, sometimes we don't hear it. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes we're not looking for it. You know, I think that right now in the city of Buffalo has some issues. And one of them is that we're not all pulling in the same direction for young people to succeed. You know, I know that we seem to do things in a reactive way instead of proactive. One of the things that I want to do as mayor is work more closely with the Buffalo School Board, because we all got to be rowing in the same direction if we're going to get the outcomes that you all want to see.
Yeah.
And you are a great example that it still can happen, but you got to have some pieces there as far as those supports to make it happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you talk about Black excellence and you're there seeing other nurses and doctors and they look like you, that's very inspirational. We don't see that a lot here. We don't see that. Even, you know, when you think about a board, the board for some of these organizations, these financial institutions, a lot of times we're not there. And so it's these types of things that we have to change, but we have to have the credentials. You know, when you get your master's and you get your CPA, how do you deny somebody with their master's or CPA to be on the board? When you become your RN and you see other young sisters doing that, you know, when you start looking at how do I create a business model, because I'm not just talking about working for someone, I'm talking about how do I create a business model that's going to help other folks that look like us. See? And that is that vision.
Yeah.
You know, when you two collaborate, you could get your master's and you get your business, you start collaborating, talk about how do we bring franchise businesses to Buffalo.
Hotels to Buffalo. I want a nice hotel, and I want, like, personally, you know, like the runaway houses. Yeah, I want one of them. But like, it would be like from like 13 to like 18, and then from like 20. With me, from like 18 to 22, something like that. So
those are the types of things that, again, as mayor and working with the community, we can start laying the groundwork for that. That's really important. So
if they just had guidance once they ran away, they would be fine.
They could be. So I want to thank Tremaine, London, and Tori for this conversation. You all, we have a bright future, and here they are, but we have to support them. So for another edition of Wyatt Watch or Wyatt Rapping, however you want to call it, thank you for tuning in. But again, let's start working together. Let's inspire young people. Let's lift them up and not tear them down. Y'all have a great day.